The only thing I know is that they want to smash each other.
That's a fact. Absolutely.
Well, at least she wants to smash him.
Oh, baby, let's stay together.
What's up, peeps? It's TND, and welcome to TND Won't Shut Up,
where we discuss and debate relationship topics from a healthy couple's perspective.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel for weekly discussions and share with a friend or two.
All right, strap in, grab a cocktail or snack, and enjoy the show.
All right, yeah, we are recording live from Mexico. We are in Cancun, and we're just enjoying a little vacation. Vacation. Yes, it's been a good time. So we're just going to review season 1, episode 9. What is it called, babe?
Don't Call It a Comeback.
All right, so the episode starts where Vernisha and Myel left off on last episode, right? And the episode ended last week. Vern asked Myel, was he still interested in Sharice?
Yes, correct.
And Myel said he's still very much so interested in Sharice. And he sent Vern with a message to give to Sharice, which was letting her know that I'm still interested and I would love to continue to see where this could go. What do you think about that, babe?
So, firstly, Myel played himself. I think we could all agree to that. And it was obvious to Vernisha that he played himself, right? But she entertained this little date. She didn't know what it was supposed to be. And I feel like Myel was trying to recover from the mistake that he made, right? Mm-hmm. Hollering at Sharice. But it wasn't really, in my opinion, anything he said could not justify what he did, right? And I think Vernisha saw that, and also she didn't really have any patience to keep hearing about it, right? That's why she wanted to exit that date.
Yeah, she seemed very disinterested in that date, to be honest, and rightfully so. I'm glad that both ladies did not entertain his BS, and allow him to, dismiss himself.
Yeah, and now what's interesting though is that if he really did like Vernisha, which clearly he did, or he wouldn't have hollered at her, why didn't he just own it? I mean, this would have been an opportunity to not stumble on yourself trying to explain to her why you played yourself. No, I liked you. I thought you were very attractive. I didn't expect to meet you. I feel like if he would have been genuine and real like that, I don't think Vernisha would have entertained it at this point because of the way he went about it. But that's what you should do in a situation like that. Just own what you did.
And there's nothing wrong. You like them. You like both of them. You found both attractive. Say it. What is the big deal?
I agree 100%. Yes. So I believe he's out of the picture completely.
Yes, and I'm glad he is.
Yes, I agree.
Let's talk about Vern and the date that she had with her keeper, Tabari. Tabari, sorry. Yes. Tabari, to me, seemed a little bit more serious this date. What do you think?
I agree.
It was actually a pretty decent date.
Yeah. So he was definitely more serious, a little bit more intentional, like, very direct, I guess, with what his feelings are. I also feel that this spiritual connection that they seem to have in common, they're both obviously spiritual, believe in God. They seem to be believers at a similar level, right? Not necessarily church going every week, or, I mean, they didn't get into those details, but I was under the impression that they both believe, and they both believe in a similar way, right? Where the reason that's important, I believe, is because, if you get one person that's, in church every Sunday and another person just believes and prays, well, there could be a little disconnect there. And so that's definitely a positive thing that I saw within the date. Also, did we want to talk about their interaction at the mixer as well?
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Okay, so at the mixer, I think it started with Vernisha showing frustration about the fact that Tabari didn't follow up from that great date that they had with some type of communication. I don't know if her expectation might have been maybe a good morning text or just something. Apparently, she didn't hear from him until 6 p.m. And she really felt some kind of way about that. Mm-hmm. Now, he, of course, apologized, tried to recover. But I don't know. I think that really hit a spot with her.
It did. And he actually seemed pretty dismissive when she verbalized it at the table. Right. And he was just kind of like, okay, well, just kind of dismissive. But it did lead me to think, does Vernisha communicates with him as well? Is she sending messages? Because he kind of said something like, I was waiting for you to text, and I want to see you text. I want a good morning text from you too,
Yeah.
So it kind of made me think that maybe she doesn't communicate, and she wants him to do it all.
It's possible that that's the case,
We don't
but
have enough context first.
yeah, but I would always, side on the man
I agree.
initiating conversation. It just shows that intentionality, and I think a lot of women want to see that, right? They want to know that the man is genuinely interested, and if later on down the line, the man, feels like his communication style is a little different, doesn't necessarily interact in the way that she expresses, well, you do that later on down the line. But in the early days, you're trying to show this person that you want them. Well, communicate with them.
We want to feel that we're being pursued.
Absolutely.
And yes, I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah. She continued to choose him. I mean, I think I'm not seeing anything there that would warrant her dropping him, right? I
agree.
And she does seem interested, right? But what I did want to hear, which we didn't hear, is, if you recall in the last episode, I don't know, he was kind of showing, he wasn't stating things that would lead you to believe that he was ready to move to Texas, right? He has a kid that he's involved with, and that was one of the things that I pointed out in the last episode. Like, I'm not getting a feeling that this guy is going to move, and they didn't discuss that in this date at all. So I don't know if anything has changed in that regard.
So what I feel is that these people aren't willing to move at all. I don't think anybody's going to go further than after filming, if they do. But if they make it that far. But I do feel like it's not really something that you want to discuss right now. You might be open to it, but right now they're just dating and getting to know each other and see where they go. I'm not moving for somebody I'm not even in love with, but we can talk about it, and maybe we might grow into eventually moving.
Right.
Vernisha said that she was interested in, she's open to move. I don't know how that looks when she has a successful business and a younger child, but she did say that she was open to move. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But so far, they seem okay to me. I don't see any sparks or anything that saying that okay, they're going to be together forever. I don't see really a major strong connection, but it seems decent, I would say.
I agree.
Right?
And he did establish his position very clearly in this last date. Like, he's interested. They got a little deeper in their conversation about the spirituality. So, yeah, I feel like it's progressing the way that it should.
Yes, I like it. It's two mature adults. I think it's going
I agree.
pretty good.
I agree.
All right, so let's move on. You start, baby.
Next one we'll discuss was it Maurice and Sharice?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, do you want to start on this one?
I can start on
All
it.
right. What were your thoughts about when she walks in and sees Maurice sitting there at that table?
Well, she did say that they've been communicating every day, and she was hoping that it was him. So she was happy when she saw him. She did ask, did he miss her? And he said, I thought about it.
Yeah, I think he said, I thought about you.
Oh, I thought about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
That was
Made me
funny.
chuckle. I did like this date, though. I do feel like he went a little deeper, and he said some very nice things about her. Honestly, out of every guy that she's been on dates with, I think Maurice is more of a match for her, to be honest.
Really?
I do feel like he's more of a match for her. I think on paper, this is what I wrote. I said, I think on paper they're probably a great match. I do, because he seemed to be the type of man that Sharice is into. He likes his designer stuff. He's very fly. He's mature. It just seems like a good match to me, to be honest. I'm not saying he's the best match for her, but what she's looking for, he seems like he's the perfect candidate for what she's looking for. And as far as conversation, she doesn't even know how to hold a conversation either. So
that is true.
Yeah,
that is true. But because of that, I think she would require a man who can do that. And Maurice is not that guy.
I agree.
So I definitely agree with you that there's certain things that he brings to the table that she wants, no doubt. But I mean, let's not forget all of those awkward periods of silence during their dates.
But he showed himself on this day.
He did.
Conversing. It was a good day.
But does a person just completely change overnight? It's possible. I think it's highly unlikely. I think he saw that this is another opportunity that he may not have had. So let me capitalize on it. And props to him. He did what he needed to do, right? He conversed a little bit more. He was buttering her up with all these compliments. I mean, he really, I'm not going to lie. He made her feel really good. But at the end of the day, I don't think that he brings out of Sharice, I don't know, just that the side of her which she wants to have, right? Which is conversation, which is a more outgoing type behavior. I foresee a relationship between them being extremely boring. That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, because they both seem like two boring people.
Absolutely. So yes, I think it was a good date. I give him credit for, kind of stepping it up a little bit. But he really didn't take ownership about not being talkative. As a matter of fact, he was kind of in his feelings about it. The way he stated it, like, oh, okay, well, I wasn't talking, da 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 da. Like, either you're gonna own it or you're not. You get what I'm saying? And when it comes to changing your behavior, I think the first step is just being accountable and acknowledging what the issue is, and then working on it. I don't feel like he took accountability in the way that he brought it up in that date.
Well, I don't feel like not being talkative on the first 2 dates is a major deal breaker. Sometimes you're shy.
That's true.
And
That's true.
it was just 2 dates, and obviously their conversation was good enough for them to continue talking every single day via text message or on the phone. She said that they were communicating every single day.
Right.
So something's there, right?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I have here now I'm talking about the date with Sharice and her keeper, which is Nick.
Okay.
I said Sharice looks beautiful on this day. I love her outfit and the color choice that she's wearing, that blue with the blue shoes. I still don't see a connection between her and Nick. I don't see a connection beyond the physical between Sharice and Nick. And I put that Sharice seems very boring and dry, and I'm unsure of her ability to hold a substantive conversation.
Yes, I agree with all of that.
Yeah. What do you think about that date?
I think, all right, so she's clearly into this dude, all right? Whether it be for the wrong reasons, she is into him. She gets smitten. She's smiling the whole time and
flirting a little.
There's
bubbly.
Exactly.
It's cute. I don't see the side of Sharice, and I watch her on Ready to Love, and I watch her on all these other dates, and this is the only date that I see that someone brings out the bubbliness out of her.
Yes. And by the way, the contrast with Maurice.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't see that at all with Maurice.
Exactly.
So I think she requires a man to bring that out of her.
Yes.
Okay. And Nick's doing a good job with that. I did like the fact that because last week we were talking about how Nick, the conversation wasn't substantive at all, right? I think he definitely started the conversation, right, trying to have a little bit more substance. But they didn't really get into deep conversation.
Exactly.
There really wasn't that back and forth that I think was required to really know if there's compatibility there. Because by the end of that conversation, I mean, the only thing I learned is that he's never been in a streetcar, and he wants to take her to a bar. What was it, Virgin Bar or something?
Virgin Bar or some hotel.
I mean, what did we really learn? So that date, by the end of that date, they were, in my opinion, in the same exact state that they were when they first started the date.
The only thing I know is that they want to smash each other.
That's a fact. Absolutely.
Or at least she wants to smash him. That's what I get out of that.
Yes.
But nonetheless, good date. Both of her dates was pretty good overall, and I'm glad that she has some choices now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to talk about Ashley and Kirsten. Oof. I don't even like the energy she gave him. I don't feel like he deserved that at all.
Well, how do you think she felt when she saw him? Did she know that he was going to be there?
No, she didn't, but she had an idea. Who else would they have brought?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I think her decision to leave him should have been left there. He should never resurface on the show. He should not have been given that opportunity.
I agree.
He does not like her. And to me, I think I put on here that he's full of shit as well. Ashley seemed to fall for it. But I feel like he showed his character, and Kirsten is a joke.
Yes.
That's all I have on here for him. I don't have much to say about him. I just feel like she needs to stay clear from this man. And she even keeps saying, like, he reminds her of a man that she dated for or went after in the past. Leave that man alone. Don't let him text you. Don't communicate with him. Keep it moving, just like Sharice kept Myel moving. Keep it moving. Don't go back to these assholes who showed you who they are. He showed you.
Yeah.
And he disregarded your emotions, your feelings. He didn't show up. He acted like he didn't care. Goodbye, good riddance. Dismiss yourself.
I agree. The fact that he was able to just show up with some flowers, just get on her good side, smiling at her, saying a few things, and that quickly she forgot how he disrespected her.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you recall, you know, it was all about looks with him too, right? You know, he kind of fit the mold of what she's, you know, accustomed to or attracted to. And so that's all it took, right? Just flowers and a smile and a little bit of conversation. Also, I know what he's saying and how he's coming across. I don't see it as intentional interest in her
at all.
So I really don't know why he's around. And then the fact that he disrespected her the way that he did, no matter what he says, what he brings her, she should not give him the time of day. Exactly. That's my opinion.
I agree. I feel like that was,
yeah.
She should have been like, nope. Now her date with Dawn. What do you think about that, baby?
All right. So Donald spoke about the state of the relationship and where it's headed. I think she had asked that question. And I was okay with that answer. I feel like, I know you had mentioned that you don't think that he's really into her. I don't think so either, but I just think that he's just kind of moving along with the process, and nothing in that answer made me question his intentions. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll see something later on in the process, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Me too. I will.
Yeah.
I still don't think that he really likes her, but he's kind. He's respectful. I still feel like everything he's saying is not the truth. It's not truthfully how he feels. I think he's just saying things to make Ashley feel good, but I don't feel like he's really that into her. Okay. But he's still very respectful, and I like it. I think he treats her well. Yeah. I will say that.
Now,
and he makes her feel good.
Now, what do you think about Ashley bringing up his competition?
Ashley she needs validation. She's so insecure. She wants these two men to fight over her. She wants a little tussle to make her feel like these guys are coming after her and she's got to make a decision. And she wants Donald to feel some type of way that Kirsten came back around. But if I was Donald, I'd be questioning Ashley. Why would you even let this man come back around when I had to come to the house to rescue you after his ass showed his ass?
Absolutely.
No, I would question her big time.
Yep.
And she's bringing up this man who should be no competition.
Yep.
He showed his ass. Like, leave him out of this conversation. Goodbye. Like, it says, she wants men to fight for her. And I say, I agree with what Dawn said, because Dawn said something about she's looking for competition. Why are you even bringing this man up, Right. And I agree with that. And, yeah.
Now, she had mentioned his loafers, right? And lack of swag. I think that's what right? She said that specifically. Yeah. I actually believe that to be a longer term issue. I know right now in this process, she's going to continue moving along, but if this is an issue, it's going to continue to be an issue. Mm-hmm. Swag isn't something that you can just create. So you either got it or you don't have it. So I think she shouldn't just gloss over that. I mean, obviously she brought it up. I think in the next episode we saw a little clip where there's a discussion, I guess, with her and a family member of Donald's about clothing, right? So clearly this has been brought up again. I think she just needs to acknowledge this as a potential issue, and if it is, maybe that's not your guy for the fact that he's lacking swag and style and whatever else it is that she needs.
I actually love Don's style. I think he dresses very nice, very clean. He presents himself well. I have nothing negative to say about it, but that's my maturity level. I prefer a man who knows how to dress nice. I don't need you in the latest Jordans or the latest Air Forces, them big old foam posits. Right. I don't need those. I'm well in my 30s, so I don't need that. And she's in her mid-30s as well. I'm surprised that's still an issue for her. To me, he looks fine, but I'm not here to force what I like on you. If you don't like a man who dressed like that, then don't go for a man that dressed like that. Yeah. Maybe you might need a little thug appeal. Maybe you need a little bit more swag. Maybe you might need a little umph.
Right.
But
she could always, if it became a serious relationship, maybe she could suggest to him that he wear a different type of clothing. Maybe she could kind of buy stuff for him. I mean, there's ways to kind of work on that. Yeah. All I'm saying is, if this is something that is bothering her, if this is something that could be a potential issue, then, you need to really deal with it, right? Because this could be a problem.
Yeah, so at the mixer, he surprised her with some food. I think it was sweet potato pie and something else, which was pretty cute, sweet. Probably something that they talked about, and he wanted to surprise her with that. That was cute. Yeah. I thought that was very cute. And basically, she kept them right.
Yeah. Now I was actually surprised. I mean, obviously the editing was done really well to lead you to believe that she was about to cut him off. And the fact is, I actually thought, because look, she still has a lot of work that she has to do to get herself in the right place and not make poor decisions with respect to the men that she's dealing with. But I felt like the fact that what's the guy that came back? Kirsten came back into the picture. I'm like, oh, here she go again, right? She's gonna give this guy another opportunity, write Donald off again, you know?
Yeah.
And I almost feel like Donald was expecting that, like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, because he was second choice.
Yeah. But the fact that she kept him around, that's a sign of growth right there, right? It's as little as it could be. I'm not just going to write this guy off. I've been trying to build with this guy. Let me not just write him off because some other guy who disrespected me comes back in the picture.
Exactly.
So I think that was good on her part to keep him around. Doesn't mean she got to stay with him, right? But just to keep him around.
He's a better option.
Yes.
And I just didn't like that she had so many like kind words to say about Kirsten, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You have so much to say. Man, that man would have been... I wouldn't have anything to say to that about that.
She should have never talked to that dude literally after she got up from that table.
Exactly.
During that date.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. But knowing her, I'm sure they're still talking in the background.
Right. Zadia and Richard.
So Richard was her first pick. She originally picked him out on that first episode, maybe the first or second episode, and they went on a date. And the date, his questions were kind of all over the place. He didn't even ask for her name. To me, it was more nervous energy than disrespectful energy.
Yeah, it was. And actually, I don't even think it was a date. It was when they were just all mingling.
Yes.
And he jumped right into like some questions about, have you been in a relationship? What was your longest relationship?
Yeah, it was kind of displaced, I
as
guess.
opposed to just, I mean, if you're first meeting someone, you should have some topical conversation before digging into the questions.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that question was a little displaced, but still, to me, not the biggest deal breaker, and I'm glad that he came back.
Yes.
And he redeemed himself. It was a good date overall. I actually really liked it. She actually said she forgot about Cam on that date.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good date. I do feel like the connection between her and Cam is stronger than this guy, but I do feel like this guy can probably get there.
I agree.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised because, usually first impressions matter.
Exactly.
And they had no connection in that first meeting.
Right.
And then to see the energy completely change in this date the second time around, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And he did, he was giving her compliments, talking about how pretty she is, her skin. Yeah. Like he was doing his thing.
He did them.
I was impressed.
I put on here it was a cute date.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing more of them together.
Yeah. And let's not discount the fact that the man seems to have a little bit of emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
He was talking about some things, so probably he's listened to some podcasts, done some reading. I like that because that's something that actually has been lacking in a lot of these conversations between these people.
Right.
No one's really asking questions from an emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature place.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. That was a good date. So let's talk about her date with Cam. So he basically told Zadia to go through the process because he does not have time for more dates with her. He also seemed a bit frustrated.
As soon as he sat down, right? It's the same old record, right? I'm so busy. I got this. I got that. It's
long day.
Long day. Exactly. He's always emphasizing that, and it's like, and the fact that So by the way, right out the gate, in my opinion, he wanted out of this situation, right? Just like he did in the last episode. Brings up the process of the show, the fact that she should go on more dates. He was unfazed by the fact that she met a past person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Constantly pointing out that he doesn't have time to be there for her. Always bringing up how ambitious he is and the goals that he has and how long it's going to take and that a romantic relationship is going to slow him down.
Right. He's really pushing Zadia away, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I would have honestly dropped him. Yep. But I do feel and see, I can feel it through the screen, the connection that they share.
Really? You see?
I do.
I think...
I feel like they spent a lot of time together, baby. They even spent time outside of filming.
Yes. And I'm starting to believe that they had sex.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. Because And I didn't think that until he ended up having that discussion with the host of the show, Tamika, because at that point, he was of course saying the same stuff that he's been saying about not having time, this, that, and the other, and she kind of put him on the spot, like, well, listen, you got to make a decision here. Right. You're either you're stringing her along right now. You either need to be there for her or not. And
that was good advice.
That was great advice. I know he decided to stick around. I still don't believe anything's gonna change. The reason I started to think that she had sex with him, because now I'm like, all right, this man is trying to break up with you, everything possible, and you still feel like you want to be with him. Now I'm starting to question: is that because maybe you had an intimate moment with this guy, and if you didn't, you'd be, I don't know, more willing to just write him off?
I will say this episode, unlike last episode, she finally seemed to understand what he was trying to say to her. She was so confused. That date left her so confused. She was like, what is it? Now she feel like he doesn't want, everything we were saying, he doesn't really want to be there. Right. He's keep making excuses about being busy. And you know what I really like? That all the girls kind of was able to share their opinion on the way Cam is treating Zadia. Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like she actually got it. She hear it. She heard it. Yeah. She's seeing it. Yes. What's he saying? Now, what is she going to do about it?
We know what she should do. I mean, he's all of a sudden he's got a renewed sense of interest after this conversation. I mean, the man has been telling her in every possible way that he doesn't have time for her, that he's not interested in a romantic relationship at this point. You know, if she gets into, and then, putting a time frame out there of like a year to 3 years or something like that for him to get established to the place that he wants to, I mean, she'd be setting herself up to keep this guy around.
Yeah, and I put Zadia into the date, and I put that I feel bad for her because I think she really likes the guy. Yeah. And she said she's been more vulnerable, she's been open, she's let her guards down for this man, and I do feel that she really likes him. And honestly, I put here, Cam talks to Tamika, states he's afraid of a commitment that's so far away. And I believe him.
I do.
I did believe, exactly. I know, I don't know how he feels, but I do believe that this can be overwhelming for him. He didn't know he was going to like her like this. Some self-sabotaging going on there. I did feel that, honestly. I do believe that. I think he does like her. I think they spent a lot of time together. I think they have chemistry. And I don't feel like it was just a one-way street. I feel both of them felt that way. Yeah. And I just feel now he's getting cold feet. It's coming close to the end of the process. And he's just making a bunch of excuses why.
Well, then I question why he's even on the show. There's so many men out there that believe they may want a relationship until they see what it entails, right? Like, things are getting serious, right? I got to be communicating with this person on a regular basis. I got to take them out. I got to be conscious of their feelings. All of the work that goes into being in a relationship. And so, of course, people get cold feet. But I mean, the whole point of this show is to be in a relationship, to potentially move to be with that person. These are big, major decisions that require you to be committed. And he is showing like a complete lack of commitment to this. And I'm even questioning whether he would commit to anybody at this point, right? So he's telling her that she needs to believe it. She just needs to move on. Yes, he might like her a little bit, but so what? The goal of the show isn't just to like somebody and go on a couple dates. It's to actually be committed in a relationship and move in with each other, I guess, eventually. And he just is not prepared at this point to do that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that too much. I do feel like he is getting cold feet, and I think cold feet is normal. That's not foreign, baby, getting cold feet.
I agree.
You even got cold feet in our relationships.
I do.
You can relate to Cam on a lot.
Yes.
So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I feel like sometimes you get into a situation, you didn't know it was going to get this far. You didn't know you was going to feel this way about a person. And then you start realizing, I like her. Oh my gosh. But then at the same time, it is true. Are you going to move to DC? Is she going to move to New Orleans? These are discussions that they should have, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to move, or you don't see yourself moving, or she doesn't see herself moving, then just end it. Just stop playing around. But I do feel like his feelings are valid. The way he's feeling, the confusion, the cold feet. I do feel like that's a normal feeling, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. I don't see that he's a bad guy for feeling that way. I do feel that sometimes the self-sabotaging comes because I feel like, well, he said he really does like her, but and then he came back and tried to back up and say, you know what, I do like you. And I am getting ahead of him. I am getting ahead of myself. Why we're not focusing on the now? Why are we so focused on the past and the present, the future,
Right.
and not being present on what it is right now? And I do agree with that. Sometimes you just got to be focused on the present. Don't get too far ahead. Yeah, I might just be. Some people are in your life for a reason and season and in their lifetime, and this just might be a season for them. But enjoy it, babe.
I agree. But everything you said, I agree with 100%. But I don't know that she's okay with that, right? She wants to hear something from him to make her feel confident that he really does want to be with her, that there is a potential future. I have yet to hear a single thing come out his mouth that can give her any confidence that this is worth her time.
I agree. And for that reason, she should move on. All I'm saying is that I understand what his feelings are valid, her feelings are valid.
Yes.
They just might not be for each other.
I agree.
What's up? It's D, and I just wanted to interject. I was listening to this episode before I decided to upload, and I realized that I was talking some BS, y'all. Zadia should not choose Cam. Cam is emotionally unavailable, and at this big age, I don't feel like she should waste her time with someone like that. Good guy, but that's not enough. He is emotionally unavailable, and all women should stay clear of those type of men. Thank you. And I think, who do you think she should choose?
I don't know, that date that she just had with Richard.
Richard, yeah.
I like that. That was a good start. I need to see another date. I want to see, because just the fact that, I'm big on emotional intelligence and maturity. The fact that he even talked about that, I want to see if he expands on that a little bit, and if it opens her up a little. That at the end, by the way, he's showing that he is intentional with her. I mean, there's nothing. You don't hear him talking about his job or the lack of time and this, that. And
right.
So you know what? That's where she needs to put her energy. So let's just see where that goes.
Whew, that's hard because I feel like, damn, it's kind of one. In one hand, I'm like, okay, go with him. But I can understand not wanting to fully drop Cam because it's still a good. You like him, y'all like each other. You want to see where this goes, and then you got this one man. I don't know if you even like him like that. Yeah, he's saying all the right things, but still, don't mean you gotta like him.
But it's still early though.
It is still early.
And I think we are all better served if we only entertain people who want us. Like, how many people want to pursue someone that isn't unequivocally interested in pursuing you, right? We almost make reasons why we should stay with this person. It's like, no, how about going with people that want to be with you?
I agree. I do agree. But I guess I'm just not ready for her to drop Cam right now. Okay. I think another week of dating and seeing how things go. But to make a decision right now at this moment, I don't know, babe.
I'm a little surprised. Last week, you were like, cut him loose.
I was, but now I see the explanation what he gave to Tamika, what he said to Tamika, and I believe him. And I don't feel like she should just make that decision right now. I feel like if they go on another week of dates and see how the communication goes after they had this conversation on how he's feeling, I say, don't drop him yet.
Zadia,
but also don't.
Zadia, if you're listening, cut that man loose.
You said cut him loose. I don't know yet. Oh, I'm so torn. I am so torn. But I always say if it's not a strong yes, it's a no.
Right. I agree with that.
I'm torn, baby. I'm torn. So let's talk about this preview of the next episode.
Yeah, that was, man.
Ashley seemed like she got into it with
a family
member. That is not good. That is not good.
Yeah.
Getting loud.
And I don't care what Donald's, maybe that was his sister, I don't know. whatever she's saying or whatever approach she was taking, you have to be the bigger person in that situation.
Yeah.
And also they did point out, I mean, there was a little clip where I guess she was telling Donald like that he wasn't defending her or something like
Earth
that.
to Donald, Earth to Donald.
Yeah. And I will say that, you know, Donald, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we got to see the whole clip. But if Donald was sitting there quietly, he's wrong for that.
Yeah, he
you know,
is.
you do have an obligation to step in.
He was zoned out, baby.
Out, yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking about, but woohoo, Earth to Donald, Earth to
Yes.
Donald. And I don't blame Ashley for getting mad, but also I still feel like Ashley need to bring shit down a notch.
Yes.
Going back and forth about this man's style
don't
with
do
his
that.
sister.
You don't do that.
Like, that shouldn't even be brought up on that day. That's a
Right.
conversation that you and Donald have. Why are you talking to his family about?
Yeah,
We're getting ahead of ourselves, baby.
But again, and this is relevant to this episode, the fact that that's even coming up in a contentious way, that tells you, that means something.
She's
to
not
Ashley.
attracted
She's
to him.
not attracted to, or definitely not attracted to his style.
She's not attracted to him at all.
I agree.
Maybe because some of the things she said on this episode was, you know, when she was comparing him to Kirsten, she needs more from him. She needs some more personality from him. Things like that she was saying. So I do feel like she's really not that attractive.
She isn't. And, you know, let's not forget, she cut the man off the show early on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, usually when you backtrack like that, it's not going to work out.
Exactly.
You did it for a reason.
Yeah, and then he also showed his ass too, because he came back. She snapped her fingers, and he was right back.
Exactly.
Like, to me, I feel like you showed this woman that the text messages did not go through. You could see that I sent you a message.
Yeah.
And you just didn't get it.
Right.
And you still dropped me for that? I'm done. I would not have even came back.
Done.
If I was Donald. Then we see Vern date with Tabari's mom.
Yes.
And whoever the guy next to him. It like a really good day.
That did look good.
It did look good. It's just the beginning. We don't know. But from that, what they showed, it looked like a good first date.
Yes.
And then we also seen somebody else arguing. Who's?
Oh, I think Sharice got
Sharice
into it
and
with
Zadia.
Zadia. Yeah.
Lord. But it seems like Zadia is saying that she kissed LJ. LJ is the friend that she brought on the show.
Okay.
Ooh, and then she
yeah,
said...
it's funny because the show has been void of drama for a while since
Right,
they got
exactly.
into it.
So
They were due for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if Sharice is kissing LJ,
Wow.
you don't know where these...
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
watch that
Yeah, I don't know.
season of Brother Love,
Yeah.
but yeah. That's supposed to be her friend,
Yeah.
and they kissing? Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Keep the conversation by commenting down below. We will respond to you. And feel free to like, thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like this episode. And we'll see you all next week.
You ready to hit the pool, baby?
Yeah, we about to hit the pool, y'all. We're in Mexico, so if you feel like this episode was a little rushed, then it was.
It's all good though.
We're looking at the beach from where we're at right now on the bed, so we're about to hit the beach and
Yeah.
enjoy. It's our last day, so
Yeah.
enjoy our last day in Mexico. Y'all have yourself an excellent week, and we look forward to some feedback.
Take care, people.
Let's stay together.